if you want to focus them in one area, you could just open it up, give them a way in. Hello, hello! I'm CammyG, and welcome back to our Fortnite Save the World quest videos. So, since last, we have a few more things we can do before we go to a Cat 2 mission. So we've got 2 upgrade points, which looks like there's a few things we could upgrade our health to increase the radius, or we could increase pickaxe. I'm probably going to use one on the pickaxe. Looks like, oh yeah, we get an actual visual for the pickaxe when we upgrade it, which is cool. And then I'll probably do building and repair speed. It's, again, I've done that already. And then research, because we've been overnight, we have quite a few of these, so I'm just going to slap them all in offense. You just said there, every time you fill a meter, you get a bonus, so one more, and we'll get a bonus for that, and then we can probably move on to tech to increase our abilities and trap. So, there is another thing we can do. I had an expedition come back, so I've done the first one, but we have another medium here, stack of traps, so I'm going to pop some soldiers on here. Let's see, who do we want to do? Probably Commander Spitfire, so if we go to hero loadout, we can take him out. He is there. And then, can we level him up anymore? We could evolve him and then level him up to 20. Then if we go to expeditions, we should have a 100% chance for this, I hope. Yes, perfect. So if we send him off, it does use some research points, but it's not a lot for the time being. It's not too bad. Then we have some stuff in the llama shop. So the triple llama for today looks pretty good. We've got the death ray and a legendary survivor, all for 120 tickets. So let's use that. Hopefully you can bear with before we get to the mission. Obviously this stuff is useful, but wow. That's quite a lot of stuff. Oh, gold gas trap as well. Yeah, we're getting that one as well. This is why you save your tickets for when you definitely know you want them. A triple gold llama is pretty good luck for us. So that's really good. Then what we've got here. Is that another legendary survivor? Oh, it's a purple survivor. I'll think about that one as we play the mission. We do have quite a lot left, but yeah, we've got a legendary troll stash llama, which I think we got from Ventures. So we'll go ahead and open this up, see what we can get. Should get a fairly decent amount of stuff in here. Let's see. Should get a legendary, I would hope. Epic Engineer or Epic Explorer? I think that's tech, so I'm going to go for the tech one. That should be a lead, I believe. Yeah, so that might be useful for us. Then some more survivors. I'll just skip through. I don't want to spend too long on this stuff. Ooh. I'm going to go legendary lead survivor because it'll get our power level up. I think that's the better one to go for. Ooh, and then a legendary pistol. Not too bad. So what we can do is open 4 of these as well. That's just, yeah, standard boilerplate stuff. But then we can open 4 of the lunar llamas. Ooh. It's not as good as I was hoping. I'd hoped for 2 legendaries, but a fairly decent amount of stuff there. And now when we're going to our mission for our Cat 2, we could probably look to potentially lend some new heroes in here. So I'll put him back in for a higher power level. And then who else have we got? We'll pop her back in. And probably another one of the 12s. So we'll just put him back in. It's not really building on the team perk at the moment, but that's fine. So yeah, let's get into the mission. Right, so here we are in a Cat 2. So we need 2 pieces of blue glow. There's the first. I think I just saw the atlas in the background. Yeah. So we've got 1 other person so far. We'll see if anyone else joins, but we are a fairly good power level for this now, I think. We're even higher in Ventures, because I've been smashing that a little bit. Yeah, this stuff. Oh, nice shot. Nice shot again. Nice shot again. My god, the aim is just so good. Might as well just put the teddy down. There's another piece of blue glow over there as well.
Wish I could.
Get that picked up. now we're good to go for the mission. We just need to build some defenses. So as I say, with it being 2, you can solo this still, of course. You just need to build twice the amount of trap tunnels. Now, we are in Plankerton at this point, so I believe we're probably gonna have the spawns change every 2 minutes in the Atlas mission now. Instead of... I thought I could hear a chest. In Stonewood, it was just the fixed spawn and it wouldn't move. But yeah, I believe now it's going to change. Oh, hello.
Sorry.
So, we're going to have to take that into consideration when we build trap tunnels. So we won't be able to... Oh, this guy's just edited this before I upgraded it, which is annoying, but okay. We won't be able to preemptively, you know, see where the spawn is on all the other locations. And as I say, I'm not actually 100% sure. I think... in the ventures anyway, when I get to this sort of power level, I see the spawn change. So I think this will move, but we can build for this one at the very least to begin with. So what we'll probably do is just carry this sort of fence from the house blockade across. I think I just built behind myself. Yeah, that's fine. This is fine. Extend this round like that. And so the enemies will be coming through this middle bit. Then what we can do is block off the left side. So if we do this, we'll do it this wide. Why not? And then another one behind, like that. The reason I did so far here is just to block them from wanting to break through and then come to the side. And then once they are around here, you can add another one behind it, but I don't think you'd need it for this type of spawn because they would be going towards the objective here. Obviously, enemies can fit through this gap, but I don't think the AI can let them get through. But if you're paranoid, you can just put a wall because, I mean, it's less important in missions as you go through because if you see them coming through, you can just put a wall. But with stuff like endurance builds, where you're trying to make it obviously last forever, you kind of want to cover stuff like that because they might change the AI, be able to figure out a way through those gaps like that. But yeah, anyway, I ramble on. Right, what traps have we got? We've got a bunch of drop traps. So what we can do is extend this up. Now, you don't need to put all 4 walls. You can literally just put one and then have the ceiling connecting from that. I just like to have it full. And then what we're going to do is just put ceiling drop traps from these. Now, in this sort of area, I would level the stuff up. Depending on the mission modifiers as well, if you get the modifiers where the Husky Husks drop bombs, that will damage your builds. Obviously, lobbers can aim for stuff like this, so if you notice that you can put an anti-air trap down, you can build a lobber shield. It is a bit... Oh, what the hell has this person done here? Fair enough, I guess. It's an interesting way to build it, but sure. What I'm going to do is just block that, and then we're going to get some low walls to focus the enemies. So I'm going to do this, and we'll just put full walls on these. In fact, we can make these ones full walls at this point, actually. So what we're doing here is the enemies over here, we're just focusing them into this area here. So if I do that and then that, they're just going to break through this one bit so we can place one trap above. We don't need it across the whole thing. And then enemies that spawn either over there, which I don't think they can get up over here anyway. Nope, they can't. So they would be coming up this ramp, and then enemies that spawn over there would either attack the other amplifier, or they'll come to this direction. So we'll let them in here, and then what we'll do is probably just block this off. Ooh, there's that chest. It's on the other side of this wall. I knew I heard them before. I just assumed it was in the ceiling. But it is not. So, after we answer the door for a package, we can carry on with this stuff. So that was a nice bit of loot there. I should probably build this back, by the way, after breaking this, because enemies might want to come through the house. But yeah, enemies that come this direction, we can just allow them in this area. You can go further and block the corner. The only thing now is we risk the enemies starting to break through this area if they come from like that direction. But they do have the other amplifier to aim for, so it's not as much of an issue. We'll just let them focus on this bit. And what we can do is, if we want, we could put those on the ramp. Ooh, we've already had some kills in this area, you can see from... Oh, we should put a floor here as well, actually. And we can put wooden floor spikes on the floor. this should kill most enemies now, with given the trap level and the fact that we have other allies in the mission and stuff. Now, this bit, obviously, is a bit annoying because we can't put spikes on... What is it even? Wait. Okay, it's going to create a floor to put the spikes on. I was so confused then. So what you can do is you can just put a trap up top. So we'll just put the gas trap, level that up. So if any enemy does come on here to break this, they'll get damaged by the gas trap. And then for this one, you could do one as well. We've got the wooden floor spikes. I mean, I'm just going to slap one of them on. This is from my expeditions, by the way. Power level 1 trap. Cheers. That was so worth it. But yeah, we could try and build some stuff for this if we want. So as I said, I don't know if the spawn's going to rotate, so I'll probably wait because I can just build it after the spawn starts. So we can probably go ahead and start this now. So I'll just place a wall, apparently, which I didn't mean to do. Get that vote going, see if everyone's ready. Just delete that because I didn't mean to place it. The people have built some questionable stuff for the other amplifier, which is fair enough, but this sort of build doesn't focus the enemies in a particular area. This build would just have enemies hit wherever they get to first, which is not ideal, because you would have to place traps in way more places. But, you know, not everything's about trap tunnels in this game. I do appreciate that. You can use teddy. Jesus, I went flying then. You can use teddies, you can use turrets, you can use guns. You know, that's one of the things I love about this game, is how much variation there is and how flexible the game is. So yeah, at this point the spawn is over here. We will see when we get to the 6-minute mark whether the spawn changes. As I said, I did notice it in this sort of power level in Ventures, so I think soon we will have the spawn changing, but I guess it's a question of when. I'm kind of hoping for some enemies to come through here to show off the trap tunnels, but this guy's just sort of placing his stuff down. So we'll just wait until he's used all that up and then see what's going on. We do have our turret, we could place it down, but as I say, I want to showcase the trap tunnels as I go through this. You know, that's kind of the point in this playthrough of the game. It's meant to be more of a walkthrough and tutorial as opposed to just a plain straight up gameplay and let's play, because I want to use it, as I say, every video as an opportunity to teach something about trap tunnels and how to build. So that's what we are doing here. So I mean, that's kind of effective on the in the chrome husk, I guess. This guy's got a very powerful bow. The enemies are looking to go around the other side towards the other amplifier, which isn't trapped out. So what we can do if we want is just sort of encourage them, a bit more to go down our trap tunnels. So what I'll just do is this. And then if I stand here, these should now all come through the main trap tunnels. Ah, the storm is changing directions. There you go, it is changing. Beautiful stuff. So we can sort of demonstrate that now. So as I say, you can't just build for one direction anymore. Sadly, that is gone. I do kind of wish it happened for a longer period of time rather than just stonewood, as it is so much easier. But it does also mean we have to think a bit more about trap tunnels and our defenses and such. So when it comes to the missions as we go through Plankerton, I will explain that and basically show, you know, the stages of how you would predict where the spawn would be. But generally speaking, it's going to be in just the opposite direction to what has already happened. So that one was kind of west to the B amplifier. So now it's north and it's to the A amplifier. So then we will get one probably over there, I would imagine. And then finally we will get one sort of over this direction, which it's hard to predict how you know, where the spawn will be, because the distance and stuff is a bit unpredictable. It could be behind this ridge, it could be on top, so you have to bear that stuff in mind. You can obviously build the trap tunnels on the go as opposed to building them all beforehand. Definitely not recommended when you get to sort of twine level, but in Plankerton that's fine because you don't really need like level 3 metal and everything like you would in twine. You know, you can build stuff just level 1 and it'll do the job probably. So you can do it on the fly, which we could do here, but I mean, we have 4 players and, you know, I don't really see the need to build trap tunnels at this point. It would make our lives a bit easier, but I mean, we don't need to at this point, it's fine. We'll just blast them with this pistol. In fact, yeah, we have our turret as well. So yeah, as I said, the enemies will tend to focus the middle of the objective, but in this case, they could attack the corner if they wanted. You know, it looks like someone's attacked that one. If you want to focus them in one area, you could just open it up, give them a way in, and then block. If I can edit the wall, I cannot. I'll do that real quick. Build those like that, then do that. The enemies will now attack just this one. The storms changed direction anyway, so I chose that time fully. But yeah, as I said, I called it. The spawn was around this area. A bit more to the left than I thought, but you know, as I say, it is a bit unpredictable. Which is fine. So yeah, that's why you'll see a lot of people making their trap tunnels in quotation marks in and around the actual amplifier, because obviously if I build stuff around the amp here, this is going to apply to all 4 spawns. For the most part anyway. I mean, enemies that spawn that side won't be attacking this side. But you know, instead of going out and building a trap tunnel there, a trap tunnel there, a trap tunnel there, you know, and so on, one there, you can just build around the amplifier. Now that does work perfectly fine in lower levels. When you get to the higher levels, it becomes more dangerous because one, smashers and sploders are going to target the amplifier and therefore your tunnels. Whereas if you build the tunnels further away, they won't really target it. They will just save their, you know, fight for when they get to the amplifier. So that's one reason why you might not want to do it. And then at the same time, I think that was the only reason actually. I mean, there's, yeah, I don't really know what I'm trying to say, to be honest. I guess the only other reason is that if the trap tunnels are further away, you get more of a second chance, again in quotation marks, after the enemies get through the trap tunnels to deal with them. Whereas if they are at the amplifier and that's where all your traps are, if they get through them, they are then at the objective and can damage it. Whereas if I made tunnels and they got through the tunnels, I've then got another line of defense, if that makes sense. But as I say, we don't really need to worry about this until we get to sort of twine levels, because, you know, at the lower levels, as long as you're keeping your power level up, you will be absolutely fine against, you know, all manner of enemies. So, as I say, we don't need to worry about that stuff yet. I think the chrome husks might require fire and water now, which I don't know if I have any weapons with that on. Which is kind of annoying and a bit unfair, to be honest, that they would make me require that to defeat them. They might potentially just die. Okay, that one did die. It took a few times though, so thank God for that, because yeah, as I say, I don't have any fire or water guns yet, so it would be a bit unfair to require that from me. But yeah, we're about to finish this, which was fairly easy because, well, we had a full team. I do want to do some solo missions at some point. Not all the time. I like to play with others. It's nice to do that. But on some of the missions, I'll, you know, do it solo so I can show a full build, even if it is in just Plankerton, you know, where we wouldn't really need a massive build. We can, you know, rely on abilities a bit more. I would like to show what that would be like, because it will apply across to Twine if you're in that sort of area. You can replicate the build just with higher level traps and such. So once we, you know, I've done a few more, I'll pick a few to do solo. It depends, you know, which one we're feeling like doing. Obviously, if you have a request for any specific type of mission, so, you know, Atlas, repair the shelter, any of those, just give me a shout in the comments. I would love to, you know, do some requests. But yeah, that's this stage of the quests done. I'll probably end the video here because we have already spent quite a lot of time in the home base with the llamas and such at the start, so I really appreciate you coming along for the ride, and I do hope to see you in the next video. Obviously, like, comment, subscribe, especially subscribe to get the future videos so you can keep along with the journey. But cheers so much, and I will see you in the next one.